While the Mexicans inside T-Mobile Arena have been waiting to pop off, and Zellhuber gave them a reason.
I'm a crown fighter, you know. I'm here to fight for the people.
Daniel Golden Boy Zellhuber.
Well, comebacks don't come much better than that.
This is a whole new version of me. I'm not going to say that I'm back because I'm different now. I'm just different than what I was last year. My mind's different, my body's different, and I'm going all the way.
Welcome to UFC Unfiltered. Please tell me that's on video. I've never been happier. I'm made for a fucking podcast. We're dangerous. Listen to me, we're at it.
Welcome to UFC Unfiltered. I was away last week. I'm back from Toronto. I'm sure I was not missed. Matt had his real friend, you and Dean Thomas, but I'm back and you're stuck with me.
Wait, you were back? You were gone 2 days?
No, just Wednesday.
We missed you.
It sounded
How
weird.
was your trip? Where'd you go?
Toronto. It was great. I just did one show in Toronto and then flew home. And I'm happy to be back on this program. Although I do, having trained jiu-jitsu today and was doing a lot of turtle, and I'm doing better with the triangles, but I still have to figure out what leg goes where with right leg, right arm. But I would like, Matt, if you're ever in the city, I can switch my jiu-jitsu day so we're not doing it on a podcast day.
I should have let you know. I should have let you know.
Yeah.
I gotta learn how to speak. Jimmy.
Yes.
I should have gave you a heads up. But I kind of like just wing things. So I told you I taught at Master Luca Italia's school on the Upper West Side, Hensel Gracie Upper West Side.
What day?
It was when did I do that shoot in the city? It sounds like a papa. When did I shoot that thing in the city?
I don't know.
Oh, I guess I didn't tell you.
Thanks.
Excuse me, buddy. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I did a thing. Oh yeah, I didn't tell you. You were away. I shot something for HSS and the hospital special services.
Okay.
Or is it special surgeries? What is it?
I want to say surgeries. That sounds the hospital for special surgeries. But then again, it might be services. Who knows? I don't know.
I think it's surgeries, but it's HSS. They partnered up with the UFC, so I shot something for them, and I don't know when it's coming out for. I believe it's either coming out. I think it's coming out definitely it's coming out for Fight Pass. But anyway, it's a nice piece about. I talked to the doctor that put in my new knee, and then I talked to another doctor. I've you see me in a pool with weights and I'm punching. They got things hooked up to me and I'm becoming an avatar and I'm moving around doing squats. It's pretty cool. So I don't know. Yeah, I do like a tour of the place. But when I was in the city, I got done. It was an all-day thing. They picked me up at like 5:45 in the morning because it still takes an hour and a half to get there in rush hour.
Sure.
But I was done at 5 o'clock, Jimmy. So if you leave the city at 5 o'clock, you're screwed.
You're dead. Forget it.
You're dead. So I go, look, take me to the West Side, and let me visit my friend Luca. And I like my buddy Luca Italia. I know the guy since like for almost 30 years now. I know him
right.
And he was always good to me when I was in Brazil. When I was like just a purple belt, nobody knew me.
Oh yeah, you were talking about him. I think last Monday. Yes.
Yes, I like him a lot. So yeah, maybe I did tell you this story already. If I did, I apologize.
No, you might not have taught yet though. Or did you go out to dinner with Henzo after?
Yeah, I did go out with Henzo after. Hey guys, sometimes I repeat shit. But
that's okay.
Jimmy, and you liked your trip.
I was here though. I was very hurt that I didn't, hey Jim, let's meet up. I mean,
that was the point of that whole thing because I should have told you that I was in the city.
Yeah,
that's the point of the story, that you're training now, and I forget that you're a jiu-jitsu man now. Well, maybe because I didn't talk to you Wednesday, I thought maybe you were still out of town or something.
No, you're probably right. I was, and I'm certainly not a jiu-jitsu man yet. I'm just literally learning. The hardest part is not being exhausted, and Mike just makes me keep moving. He's like, keep moving. Even if it's slow, he goes, just do it beat by beat, but you have to move because in a fight, you're going to have to move. And he was right. So He's getting my cardio up a little bit, but I'm really a fat old man. So
Are you taking group classes, Jimmy?
I very rarely, if ever, do them, only because the timing doesn't work out, because I have to be home for this. I have to be home here by, I wouldn't make the podcast.
Oh, I like to see that on the card coming up. With Grant Dawson versus Bobby Green.
Yes.
Why does that say light heavyweight?
For who? Maybe it's a catch weight.
Grant Dawson, Bobby Green?
I'm kidding. It's not.
Yeah.
That's just. It must be a misprint.
Oh, obviously. Anyway, I like to see that Alex Marino's back.
I do too.
Oh,
yeah. He's fighting Joaquin Buckley, right?
Oh, wow. That's interesting. That's a great fight. All right. Sorry.
You're right. Light heavyweight. It's a light heavyweight fight.
Yeah, Bobby must have put some on. Should be lightweight. Okay, Jake. That's going to be fun, though.
Yes. Yeah, that Morono Buckley fight is a great fight.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Can I just tell you really quick, because we're going to have a lot of MMA fun, you know? And I kind of spoke about this when you weren't there, but there's that new Ahsoka series, right? Don't give me the thumbs up. I know we have someone in the waiting room.
Okay, no, I won't. Why would I?
Can I just tell you, as I want to keep everybody waiting, and I'll tell you why I have a problem with it. Okay, I'll tell you why. I'll keep everybody waiting, but please remind me not to forget.
Yeah, I'll remind you.
I do like a lot of it, but all right.
Daniel Zellhuber's in the waiting room, I think.
Let's get him in. Hey, all right.
Hey, Daniel, how are you?
Hi, how are you? Good, thanks. Everything's
You're in
fine.
a photo booth place or something, right? Look at that background.
Yeah, it's great curtains.
Oh, it's curtains. Where are you right now?
In
How
my
are you
home?
feeling, brother?
Yeah, it's in Mexico. It's my house.
Oh, it's nice.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Nice.
bro. Nice to meet you, actually. It's an honor, man. Thanks.
Oh, man, very nice. Very nice to meet you. Let me tell you, you are one entertaining fighter. That last fight was fun. That was fun for everybody.
Thank you, Matt. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Now, I'm sorry. I was going to say, Jimmy, at 20, I'm sorry, 24?
24, yeah.
At 24, man, your fight IQ seems very high. When did you get started with the martial arts?
At 12 years old, I started training Muay Thai, actually. But then kind of like I started getting involved in jiu-jitsu. And, in Mexico, we don't have wrestling or something like that. So I just, like the first 6 years, I just do jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai. And then when I move up to USA, when I get my contender series fight, I started evolving more wrestling and, like MMA in general. But yeah, 12.
At 12 years old, who got you involved with it? Was it your parents or how'd you get interested in it?
I get interested, and then when I was like in elementary school, when I get like 10 years old, I used to get bullied a lot. So I was at that point where my parents didn't want me to, just go out to school and get a beat, and then they put me to train boxing actually, but I didn't like boxing too much. And then I found this Muay Thai gym with my coach. That he's actually still my coach. I've been working with him for 13 years. And yeah.
Why didn't you like just boxing? And what was it about Muay Thai that you liked so much? When you were boxing, did you feel like I would rather cover this range by kicking? Like, did you not like having to get as close? Or what was it about boxing that you didn't like?
I don't know. At that point, I was like 10 years old when I started boxing, and I didn't like it. Like I just do boxing like 1 year, but I don't know. I just get bored at that age. And then when I found Muay Thai with my coach, kind of like there's more kids in the class. There was more kids in the class, and the classes were more like dynamic, and we do different stuff than in boxing. You don't do too much. So I don't know. I just fall in love with the sport, and then eventually I start fighting 1, 2, 3, 4, and I just keep going with these Amy fights. And then when I have 17 years old, my coach asked me to make my professional debut, and we did it. So.
When you were getting bullied, were you a small kid, or were you new in the neighborhood, or was there any reason they were picking on you?
No, I was small. I was very small. Look, actually, I have a picture here.
I want to see.
That was me.
Look at that kid.
This one.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I tend to get bullied a lot when I was in primary school because I was skinny and I was small. So actually, I think that the sport helped me to grow a little bit because when I start doing sport like constantly, I start growing up a little bit. So that helps too.
Now, when you started training, did anybody ever try to bully you when you developed some skills?
Yeah, just one time, and I remember that it was funny. I remember that I was getting into new school actually because my parents changed me to a new school, and right in that school, everybody was nice to me, but I run into this guy that was fucking making jokes all day, and like that's how bullying started. Like they start kind of like
Testing you.
try to do and see if you do something. And at that point, I remember I come home and my father says, like, you need to smack this guy in the face, or if you don't do anything, this guy's gonna keep going, and eventually it's gonna be again everybody. And I remember we were in the classroom, and he starts saying things to me, and I throw a head kick to him in the classroom. So I kick him in the head, and he goes to the ground, and then I get suspended in school, and it was a mess. But it was funny because I guess that was the happiest time that I saw my father walking into the school. Like, all right, what's the problem? For him was like, yeah, I don't give a fuck if I need to sign something. Like, he just defends himself. So that's a funny story.
Did that kid, because when the new kid kicks somebody's ass, everybody notices the new kid kicked somebody's ass. So that's your reputation is now that nobody can fuck with you because you've established a reputation immediately.
Exactly, and that was funny because then everybody realized that like I'm not a guy that is searching for troubles. Actually, I'm a pretty nice person, so it was funny, especially at that age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did he ever bother you again?
No. Actually, I stayed in that school for 5 years, and we ended up being friends. So it was funny. Actually, it's funny because I still talk with him, and he's like, "Fuck, I can't believe that now we are in the UFC." And
That's hysterical. You know what? No, what's crazy to me is I remember back when, like, literally over 20 years ago, I was talking to the matchmaker, Joe Silva, and he goes, Matt, you're fighting at welterweight, 170, and you're 5'6". He goes, you just weighed in your last fight at like 164. You should go to lightweight. There's guys like 6 foot and 6'1" now getting to 170. So you better go to 155. So I go, oh, shit, man, you're right. So now I'm looking at you, Daniel, at 155 at what are you, 6'1"? It's crazy. It's the evolution of the body. How you're like, it's like they get bigger. People like they make this wasn't happening back in the day. There wasn't guys 6'1" walking around at 155. I don't know. Yeah. I'm just saying it's wild to me.
No, I know. And actually, I think that it's because I'm young, because, I've been planning to move up to welterweight, but maybe in 3, 2, or 5 years, because I don't cut too much weight. Well, it's not that hard to me because actually I train a lot in the day. During the day, I train like 3, 4 times, sometimes even 5 when I'm far from the fight. So I burn a lot of calories. And because, like right now, maybe I'm in 205, to be honest with you.
Right now, you might be 205?
Yeah, but I start going down with diet, and I don't even diet that hard. Like for the fights, I just do like a strict diet 3 weeks, and I'm good.
But you think that eventually, in a few years, do you think that's because you're going to be putting on more muscle and it's going to be harder to cut, or do you think that you're just not going to want to cut?
No, I think that it's because I'm going to be putting more in muscle, and it's going to be harder to cut. Because right now, actually, when I'm doing SNC, the coaches there in the PI, they never put, like, at the beginning of the fight camp, we do work with heavy weights, like we do chest press, sit-ups, stuff like that with a lot of weight in to build some muscle mass. But then when the fight camp starts like getting close to the fight, we stop doing like powerlifting because I tend to create body mass in easy, so it's funny how like my diet things actually I think that's why it's not hard for me cutting weight because when I start my diets, it have a lot of carbs on it but slow protein. So when you see my dishes is like a lot of rice and like this portion of steak. So I'm never passing hungry during my dieting, but it's just funny because I'm dropping a lot of muscle.
And also you're 14-1. Your record is so good. And I think you lost your first UFC fight, right? And there's a lot of great fighters that lost their first UFC fight. But I was very impressed that you came back against Lando Venata, who's a very tough fighter and a very difficult guy to figure out. It moves weird. He's not a typical easy guy to figure out. And you won a decision against him. When you lost that first fight, did it do anything to your confidence? You had just gotten to the UFC. It was a decision. It was a good fight. But did you feel like, did it shake your confidence at all, that first loss?
No, that looks, it changed my life, I mean, when you get to the UFC undefeated, you won Contender Series against another undefeated guy.
Yep.
I was like truly confident, and don't misunderstood. I'm never a cocky fighter, I'm always kind of like trying to find that confidence in myself, and I think that that's important for a fight. But I don't know. I mean, when I get to my first UFC fight, I moved to Vegas to start doing fight camp there. I feel that there was things that I could possibly do well, not good. I should do it better, but I didn't because I didn't have the experience. I passed from fighting in regional leagues to all the lights in the UFC and the interviews and, meeting all these legends. Like actually, like today I'm meeting Matt Serra. That's funny because now I'm kind of like calm, but am I getting my first UFC fight after a long career here in Mexico and in other leagues? I don't know. I feel that kind of like plays against me in that fight, but I learned a lot. And actually, even today, I am still learning from that defeat because I realized that doesn't matter how far from the fight you are. If you feel that you need to change something, you do it right in that moment. Like you don't say, "Oh, next fight camp." No, because that was one of the problems that I have. I was saying like, "Oh, next fight camp I will," and now I'm not doing that. Now I'm getting like. With my boxing coach, with my kickboxing coach, with Coach Dewey and Coach Capetillo, I'm working with Coach Eric. Like I started building up a team there in Vegas, and that's helping me a lot with these fights.
What was something that you changed right after that loss? Or was there something you saw that you felt I should change this? Something you can remember that you said, I'll do it next camp, and now you look back and you're like, yeah, I should have done it. That is there something in particular?
Yeah, no, I started working with Coach Capetillo in that because, when I get my first fight and I lost, I felt that I wasn't working too much with my boxing and with my hands. But at that time, I was like, yeah, next fight camp, I will talk with Coach Jorge and, we figure something out. And then I lost the fight. And then I was like, damn, I should talk with Coach Cap like right immediately when I see that I have that need, not after I got my first loss, So when I get to Vegas again in January to start my fight camp to fight Lando, right away I start working with Coach Jorge. And then because of him, I realized that if I want to be a champion, I need to invest even more in my fight camps because I feel that that's something that nobody says to you at the beginning. Like you need to invest like a champion if you want to be a champion. So I start working also with Coach Dewey and with Coach Eric. And, I build a good team there. And then for this fight camp, I started working with Coach Chase Pami he's my wrestling coach, and with Coach Hector Vasquez from Jiu-Jitsu. So kind of like I started building a team, and that's hard to do, but I feel that I'm doing it pretty good.
You need that. You need a strong team behind you. Let me ask you, unrelated to MMA, what do you like to do? Now, a young kid like you, there's got to be a lot of temptations of going out to party, this or that. What do you like to do? Like, how do you stay on course and stay on the right course without with all the distractions? Especially you're living in Vegas now or no?
No, well, actually, no, and that's the answer because everybody's always asking to me like, why when I'm in Vegas I don't go out or I don't do anything else? It's because the way that I see it, I'm not leaving my family just to go out there and party.
Yes.
I leave everything here in Mexico when I go to Vegas, and it's kind of like sad because growing up with my parents, with my brother, with my girlfriend. My girlfriend lives in Mexico, and when I go to Vegas, I go for 3-4 months straight, and I don't see nobody in that period of time. So for me, when I'm in fight camp, I'm kind of like really in fight camp. And when Saturday comes or even Friday and people start going out, it's just that I feel that it would be a disrespect to my family and to what I want to accomplish in sport if I just start going out. And it's not like I even have too many wins in the UFC, like 2 fights away. I was about to get cut because I lost my debut, and I was like, oh shit, like if I don't start winning, I'm gonna get cut. And this is it, it's the end of the dream. So for me, it's kind of like just keep
Nice.
focused and do what I'm supposed to do.
You figure if you're going to go out to Vegas shows and all that stuff, you'd rather have your girlfriend with you, or if you're going to leave her, you don't want to go out and party while she's sitting there in Mexico waiting for you.
Exactly. And it's hard for her also, because at 22 years old, she has 22. It's not like it's common your boyfriend will go out and to another city and start training for a fight. And, especially for her, she was after our relationship, she was not related with any sport. So it's kind of hard trying to explain to a girl that you are going to leave her for 4 months, but you're not going to do anything. So you mind if I break that trust and I start doing stupid shit down there? It's not something that I plan to do.
Does she visit you in Vegas? Is she able to visit Vegas?
No, not yet. And that's also one of the things that keep me driving, because at some point I was like, not mad, but like really, really pushing myself, because I know that I need to take advantage of all the opportunities, because for me to go and train in Extreme Couture, I need to leave my family and everything. And there's some guys in there that lives there, and sometimes they're like, oh, I feel sore today, I'm not going to go. And something that I have like as a rule in Vegas is not skip any single train. Because, doesn't matter if I'm sore, doesn't matter, like, I don't skip any train, because for me, it's like, that's my job. Like, I know that sounds simple, but, it's my job. So if I start saying like, oh, I don't want to train today, or I feel that if I start giving that small, like that small cheats to myself, it's not going to end good. So,
Right.
yeah.
Nah, that's a good head on his shoulders, Jimmy, for a young
Good
kid.
attitude. Yeah, because if you're going to miss training, make sure it's for like a legit reason, like when you're really hurt or when you can't function. You don't want to allow yourself, like for other things, I'm the same way. Like I don't allow myself the out because I know I'll want to take it time and time. It gets easier and easier to take it every time.
Exactly. Kobe Bryant says something about that, and I like that a lot, because if you don't stick to the game plan, because for me, look, like this is what I do in my fight camps. The first week that I arrived to Vegas, I start planning everything. I put everything in a calendar, and I just start doing that week after week after week. And Kobe Bryant says that at the beginning of every season, he does this same thing, and then he just keep doing that, and he doesn't negotiate with himself. And that's something that I really stood, because if you start negotiating with yourself, like, oh, if I don't run today, there's no problem, I can run tomorrow, and then you start giving you even more space to negotiate with yourself, and you end up doing anything. So for me, it's kind of like, if I say that I'm gonna do anything, I'm gonna do it. And even if for this fight, I broke my foot like 4 weeks before the fight, and that didn't stop me. I keep going to trains. I run 12 miles with my boxing coach. The last block of that part of the training camp, when we do long runs, I run with a broke foot, and my coach even says to me like, you don't need to run. But like for me, it was like, it's not about even the running, it's about the mental part of that. Like, I don't know, I feel that that's been helping me a lot too. So
Shit, you're doing something right, buddy.
Yeah.
And you're fun as heck to watch. Like I said earlier, so I can't wait to see what's next for you.
Yeah, well, look, we have our next guest is in the waiting room, Daniel. But look, thank you for coming on with us. You're really an exciting young fighter, and hopefully you'll hook up with Chase Hooper. That'd be a great fight to watch. I would love to see that next. But whatever's next for you, come back on beforehand, and we'll talk about it before you fight.
thank you very much, and thanks for having me.
Okay, anytime, man. Good talking to you.
Take care, Daniel. Nice to meet you, bro.
All right, take it
Thanks,
easy.
Matt. Have a nice day. Thanks.
Take care, brother.
Bye, buddy.
Jimmy, I don't like that. When they find this lost Jedi, this Eskra Bridger, and they're surrounded, him and this other girl who's a Mandalorian.
Hello. Yeah.
Jimmy,
Yes.
they make him a hippie. They have something against making a dude a badass nowadays. They make the girls kick everybody's ass, which is fine.
Toxic masculinity. Yeah.
I mean, they do. He goes, no, that's okay. It was a gift to you. She goes, I got my blasters. That's the guns. You use it. He goes, no, I have the force. That's all I need.
Oh,
dude.
What a tool.
Use the fucking weapon of a Jedi.
Use the blaster, you idiot.
I'm sorry. You had gas today. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Well, yeah, bring in Tom. Yeah, that's what we wrapped up with. I'm definitely ready for Tom. We don't want to make Tom wait. We wrapped up with Daniel, so we could bring in Tom Aspinall, who is just, how can anybody not enjoy watching Tom Aspinall fight?
I enjoy watching him fight, Jim.
I mean, literally, if Tom Aspinall is fighting, you just got to set aside 10 minutes. You're like, all right, let me just sit down for maybe 8 minutes, including the intros. We'll be out of here.
I'm sorry if I cut you off, Jim.
That's okay, bud. He's gone to the second round 3 times.
Never get to the third round.
No, but again, that's, you never do until you do. And there was someone recently who had that happen, but they wound up doing fine and they went the distance. And that's where that Curtis Blades fight would have been so interesting.
What happened with that? Didn't he hurt his leg?
He got hurt. Yeah, he got hurt. Yeah, he was injured. The top of the heavyweight division is so good. There he is.
There he is.
Hey, Tom, how are you?
I'm doing well, thanks. I'm doing well. Thank you.
We were just talking about how, like, I know you'd love to run that Blades fight back because the way it ended. Everybody was, I'm sure you hated it too. But that'd be such an interesting matchup to see how Curtis would have handled you. I was so interested to see, because you're so deadly and you get rid of guys so fast. What do you think his strategy was dealing with you that night?
He's probably going to try and take me to uncharted waters, I would imagine. He's probably going to try and take me late on, try and hold me down a little bit, same as every opponent does, because I've not done 5 rounds yet in my career, and it's still, a question that a lot of people don't know the answer to. So yeah, they're probably going to try. I would imagine he's probably going to try and hold me down and, get out of the way of a few big shots on the feet, try and hold me down a little bit and squash me and test my cardio later in the fight. I would imagine, but who knows?
Hey, Tom, is a part of you, first of all, what's up, buddy? Good to see you.
Hello. Good to see you too. Thank you.
Is there a part of you that kind of wants to go the distance to kind of show everybody, look, listen, first of all, it's kind of a stupid question because when you're finishing people, that's the problem you want to have. But is there a part of you that kind of wants to show everybody, hey, look, that's 5 rounds. I could do some push-ups like Clay Guida after. Look at me. So, because I'm sure, and we spoke about this before, I'm sure you know the answer to this. Your coaches do. I'm sure you've done 5 rounds in the gym before. So it's not like anything's different in there unless you make it different. So you know the answer to it. Don't you? Do you kind of want to show everybody you could do 5 rounds?
I do, and I don't. Yeah, I don't want to fight someone for 25 minutes if I don't need to. Do you know what I mean? If I can knock everybody out in the first minute, I'm gonna do that. You know what I mean? If I can do that, not get hit and get a bonus, that is the ideal situation that I can be in. To be honest, at this point in my career now, I feel like I've had enough fights and I've done a few main events and stuff, and I'm not really too bothered about what people think as much anymore. Do you know what I mean? I'm just like, whatever. The people are always going to say something one way or another anyway. So if I can get in and out of the fight in 1 minute without getting hit, I'm going to do that every single time.
I think the heavyweight division is so exciting right now. John Jones obviously coming in and beating. I think Tom disappeared for a second.
He don't like your question.
Either he just clicked off on me, got sick of my dumb face. He's like, who is this fucking little turtle?
You're like, it's very exciting. He's out.
He's like, all right, there he is. I'm going to guess he got a phone call. That's what I'm going to guess. All right, we got you, right, Tom?
Sorry, guys. Yeah, someone called me and I ended up cutting you off instead of cutting them off. Sorry.
That's okay. I was just saying how exciting the heavyweight division is. You got Pavlovich, yourself, Stipe, Gane, and Jones, like the top 5, including the champion. What do you think is going to happen with Jones and Stipe, and where do you see your path to a title shot? How do you see that going? Do you think you have to have one more fight? Do you think Pavlovich gets them next? What do you think?
Oh, that's the big question. And we're in a little bit of a strange situation with the heavyweight division right now. Usually it's like, who's going to win the fight? And in this situation, it's both who's going to win the fight and who's going to retire. Are they both going to retire? Is one person going to retire? Is no one going to retire? who knows what's going to happen? My path to the heavyweight division, to the heavyweight title is, I don't know. I'm willing to. I'm not one of them guys, who wants to sit out and wait my turn. Like, that's not really my scene. I'm not looking past anybody. If I'm healthy, I'm ready to go. Like, I'll fight anybody. I'm willing to do whatever I can and whatever it takes to prove to everybody and myself that I deserve what it takes to be the heavyweight champion. I think I really know that I can do it. Whoever I fight next, I think it's going to be Pavlovich who I fight next. Though, if you ask me, I think.
I'm sorry. You think who?
I think Pavlovich.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, there's nobody in the world that doesn't want to see that fight. I mean, especially if both guys retire and all of a sudden you have a vacated belt. If that's the interim, or if that's the title shot they put you against Sergey, would be a pretty amazing fight. But I guess you have to see what happens, and if either one of those guys does step aside.
Definitely, that is the ideal situation for me. Is me and Pavlovich. I think it's the most exciting fight in the heavyweight division right now. I believe that right now I have the shortest fight average time in the UFC, and he has the second shortest fight average time in the UFC, which is wild. Like, stick us two in a cage together and see what happens. It's going to be absolutely insane.
And when you look at guys like Jones or Stipe, those are guys who have been around for so long. They seem to have ways of like neutralizing. Like they seem to know how to drag somebody into deep waters, like you were saying before. Like, Jones didn't need to against Cyril Gane. But when you fight a guy like that, do you approach someone like a Stipe or a Jones differently, just knowing what their fight IQ is and how many times they've been through this before?
Yeah, that's when I fought two real veterans in the sport, one being Arlovsky,
yes,
and the other one being Volkov. They're both like 50 fight veterans, 50 plus fights, the pair of them. And yeah, you've got to be careful as to your pace, like your output, because like you say, they can weather the storm really well. They've had 50 plus professional fights, absolutely wild. So, but to be honest, usually when I'm doing that, that's when I get quick finishes. Every time that I'm not forcing the finish, that's when the finishes come. So every fight that I have, especially recently, because I'm fighting main events, I've done 4 main events now. I'm aware that we can fight for 25 minutes, and I'm kind of pacing myself, but that's when the finishes seem to come. It's a really strange thing that happens is when I'm not looking for the finish. That's when the finish comes.
Right. So you're aware that you know what they're going to try to do. So you're not going to burn yourself out, but you're also not going to not throw punches when they're there for you to throw. It's kind of silly not to.
It's hard. It's impossible not to, because me personally, I've been doing this sport since I was like a child. So It's just like second nature. It's like as soon as I see an opening, I'm throwing.
And you followed your father's footsteps. I was reading that you into the martial arts. Your father does Brazilian jiu-jitsu as well, correct?
Yeah, he's predominantly a jiu-jitsu guy. He's one of the first. He's a UK BJJ pioneer. He's one of the first UK black belts. Yeah.
Now, the next question is: does he have a knee replacement, or am I way off?
He's got a double knee replacement.
Not that I'm happy about that, but I got a knee replacement, and I forgot. I might have been Michael Bisping. Somebody was telling me, look, Tom Aspinall's dad has. I didn't know he had a double, but he trains jiu-jitsu. How many? You tell me. Does he train often? He's on the mats a lot.
He's on the mats every day. Every day he is now. Yeah.
That makes me so happy. He's probably first of all, he's probably my age. How old your dad around?
No, he's 60.
Oh, all right, man. I'm going to be 50 next year, but I got one knee replacement, and I'm feeling good on the mats. I'm so shocked. So that makes me really happy that your dad's on the mat, and I heard about that going in. So that's why I wanted to just confirm it going into my surgery, and that gave me some hope, so. That's
to be honest, it's changed his life completely having these knee replacements, because before he had the knee replacements, he'd had over 20 surgeries altogether on his knees, a ridiculous amount of surgeries on his knees. And he could hardly walk. Like, he wouldn't travel because he couldn't do airports. He wouldn't be able to walk too far in the airports and all that kind of stuff. And now he's got the 2 legs. He's walking all over the place. He's loving it. He's got a new lease of life. He's rolling every day. He's feeling great.
I could relate. I just went to 2 street fairs with my family yesterday near my house. And I would never be, I told my wife, I'd never be able to walk this like with my old knee. It's a simple pleasure. And as a young, athletic, strapping dude, you might not relate right now, but holy shit, until you don't know what you got, you know what I mean? Like, until you can't walk, Jimmy, I'm not an old man. But you
No,
know,
young
it
and
makes
spry.
all right. But I feel good now, so I'm happy about your dad with his knees. Sorry.
Yeah, he's feeling great. The guy's like a bionic man. He had a heart attack as well. He had a quadruple bypass in his heart. He's got his neck fused. He's got all kinds of surgeries going on. The guy, yeah, he's an absolute machine. But he's still rolling every day. Like this morning we got like 6-7 heavyweights in the gym rolling. My dad jumps on for a couple of rolls with the heavyweights. He loves it. Absolutely loves it.
Did all those injuries come from jiu-jitsu, like all the knees and the neck and everything?
No, he was a rugby player first. He used to play rugby first.
There you go.
Yeah, he's done it all. The guy's got a lifelong martial artist, so he's a boxer as well. He's had a few boxing fights. He's played rugby to a high level. He's done jiu-jitsu and wrestling for years. So yeah, the guy's a lifelong athlete. He's got a lot of injuries.
I don't understand these kids. I don't know how it is in like the UK, but I guess rugby's like kind of the equivalent of our football. But all these, like most of them, I don't know how it is over there, but like most of the people around here, these kids aren't going to grow up to be any like pro football players. So why are you having these kids just sitting there getting their knees blown out, they're getting concussions, and it's all, at least with the martial arts, they're becoming like a human weapon. I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud. I don't like football. Anyway, Tom, Jimmy, my interviewing skills aren't the best. I just got.
Well, I mean, look, Tom probably relates. Do you watch anything besides MMA? Like, what do you do to get away from MMA, sports wise? Do you watch anything, or does none of it really interest you?
No, honestly, I'm not interested. I struggle to even watch boxing. You know, like I love boxing, but these days I don't know about in America, to be honest. But in the UK, boxing's like it's big over here, but the matchmaking in boxing is absolutely terrible. You get one guy that's like 10-0, and he's fighting a guy that's 2-15. It's like you might as well watch this guy hit the bag. It's ridiculous. I don't know. I hate the way that boxing's going, and also 12 rounds. It's too long. It's way too long. There's so much more to a fight than punching each other. It annoys me, to be honest. And yeah, I'm not really too interested in other sports, to be honest. I don't know why. It's just not really my thing.
I've stopped watching boxing too, and I think it's mostly because I watch so much UFC and the matchmaking in UFC. It's like you're talking about you against Pavlovich. I mean, that fight will probably happen, barring some catastrophe. That fight will happen. The UFC kind of gives you the fights that you want to see as a fan, and I think a lot of that is probably because it's one promotion, whereas boxing there's so many different promoters kind of butting heads over things. But yeah, I think the matchmaking in boxing and the reffing in boxing the judging in boxing has gotten so bad that I just can't enjoy it anymore.
100%. I completely agree with you. Like, for example, I've had 7 UFC fights now. In my last fight, so the way it works with the walkouts, usually the highest ranked walks out second. So the lowest rank walks out first, the highest rank walks out second. And in my last fight, so my 7th UFC fight, was the only time that I've walked second. Every other time I fought someone ranked higher than me. And it just shows that the matchmaking, it's way different than boxing. You don't, in boxing, especially in the UK, you get like a ticket seller against what we call a journeyman. And a journeyman's just like a guy who's there just to get beat, basically. And
yeah,
who wants to see that? Like, I don't. It's dangerous, man. I don't want to see that stuff. I want to see 2 guys trying to win.
Yeah, you don't want to see somebody just improving on their record, beating someone that everyone expects them, because that, as a fan, that's not exciting. Like, you know, again, watching you fight anyone in that division is exciting, and you became a fan favorite very quickly, which I'm sure you felt, right? You kind of could sense that people took to you very, very fast.
I don't know. I think I've got a style where I finish fights, and that's just my style, and people enjoy that. Do you know what I mean? People don't like to see people jabbing and holding too much. And, you know, I can do all that stuff, but if I see the finish, I'm going to take it. I'm a natural finisher, and I can finish. I'm not one of them guys who just got 1 or 2 finishes. There's a million different submissions that I can get and finishes from all different spots that I've not even had a chance to show yet. So, yeah, I think just my style speaks for itself, kind of thing, and people enjoy it. I like to think so anyway. I'm not sure, but I think so.
And let's be honest, Tom. Don't be so modest. 6'5", 260 with abs like me. No, I'm kidding. Better than me. You have nice abs.
I don't know about abs.
Now, look,
I don't know about that.
Hey, Tom, a lot of heavyweights, I could grab their fucking love handles and do a drop Sayanagi on it. I can throw him with that belly fat. They look like Tim Sylvia. Do you remember Tim Sylvia?
Yeah, of course. The Maniac.
Oh,
the Maniac Tim Sylvia, yeah.
People would say that he was famous for wearing his UFC belt out to bars, but they had it all wrong. He did that to cover his big fat belly. I'm only fucking around. But listen, seriously though, Tom, a lot of guys are slobs, so you got that going for you as well, buddy.
I'm trying. You got to look sexy. You got to try and look sexy at least. So I'm trying to do that. I'm trying to do that if I can.
It seems like with you don't see heavyweights like that's why like Francis stood out so much is just because he was so for that division almost sculpted like a middleweight to be that large. A lot of guys, a few extra pounds doesn't seem to hurt people at heavyweight. Guys like Derek Lewis, I mean that will have like not necessarily perfect muscle definition, but could still punch a hole through a wall. Well, look, man, we love you, and we cannot wait to see you fight again. Whoever it is, I'm so happy you bounced back and that you're all healed up. Your knee's all good, right? You're good?
Yeah, I'm all good. Thank you. Yeah.
Were you concerned?
Before we let you go, I'm sorry, Jimmy. Now I got a question for you.
I got a question for you, actually. So you go first, then I'm done.
Oh, shit. Okay. I'll go first because I got ADD. Now, listen, things are going great for you. Let's say you win a couple. Things are going great. Even better, you get the title. Now, you got to defend the title, or all of a sudden now Guy Ritchie gets a call and they're like, listen, we got this project for you. Boom, Snatch 2, whatever it is. Are you going to stay the course to be one of the greatest? Or are you going to go, oh, I got to strike when the iron's hot, like people say, and, oh, shit, what happened to Ronda? I don't know. Where's your head's at with that when Hollywood comes knocking or some opportunities? You see what happened to other people. You're doing so great.
Yeah, do you say I've already won the title at this point, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, in this world, yes. In this scenario.
Oh, the head might be turned a little bit, but right now the goal is to win the title.
Oh, okay.
When I've won the title, who knows? Who knows what's going to go on?
Maybe Guy Ritchie.
Maybe the goalposts will change. Maybe after that, I might want to be the best champion ever, and I might try for that thing. Who knows? But my question is, I'll tell you my question.
Very exciting.
I'm coming to New York. Can we sort out some training? Can we do some training together? Because I would love that.
100%. Let me know where you're going to be. Again, I'm a little bit away from the city. If you're going to be in the city, maybe I can meet you at Master Henzo's Academy and get you some training there. If you want to take the trip out to Long Island, visit myself or Ray Longo, you are welcome.
I would love to do that.
If I can get you some work,
love to do that.
If you wanted to get some work, either standing or on the floor, whatever you need, I'll have bodies for you, Tom. But again, it'll be your house if you ever want to visit, for sure.
Oh, thank you so much. That's amazing. Okay, we need to sort out some kind of contact then, because I'm coming in November.
Yeah. Jake, get Tom my number, Jake. The producer's got that going. All right, Tom,
Excellent.
For sure, bro. Awesome.
When are you coming to New York?
November. I'm coming in November. I'm coming for the Jones Stipe fight, so I'm going to be there a week or two. So I'm going to. I work the desk for TNT Sport, which is like a UK broadcasting show. So, like you guys have ESPN, we have what used to be BT Sport, and now it's TNT Sport. So I'm working the desk over there. So I'll have some free time. I want to do a bit of training.
How do you feel with that? You feel good with the desk work?
Easy money. Talking about fighting all day. It's easy. Yeah, I like it.
That's good.
It's great to have too, because guys, the best comment. I mean, Dominic Cruz, DC. It's a great way to stay around like long after you're done fighting. If you want to do that, that's such a great skill to have, because it's harder than it looks. Like, so if you're already doing it, I think it's a difficult thing to do. So if you're able to do it comfortably, I mean, you could do that for as long as you want. Yeah,
definitely. I'm not trying to do it all the time because obviously I'm busy training. My number one priority is like fighting, obviously, and I don't have time to be I don't have time to be traveling around and doing all this stuff. I want to stick in my routine, and I'm at the gym right now. I just finished the session. I'm not trying to neglect my fighting and my routine to go and do this. But if I've got time and I've not got a fight booked, I'm willing to do it sometimes. Yeah, and get my foot in the door now.
Awesome.
Tom, yeah, can't wait to see you fight again, man. And we'll see you when you're in New York and safe trip and all that. But I cannot wait to see who you fight next. And whoever it is, it's going to be a great fight.
Tell your dad he's an inspiration, that he's rolling. I like that.
Well, my dad's going to be coming with me, so you'll see him. You can tell him yourself.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah.
All
Okay,
right,
boys,
Tom.
thank you.
Thank you, Tom.
See you soon. Bye.
Take care.
That's great, Jimmy.
Yeah.
You know, we keep talking about me visiting you in the city. You know, I'm a fucking Uber ride away.
No, you're right. I could actually go out. It's just hard because of the fact that I'm working every night and in the morning. It's only a matter of getting out there with the schedule, because I'm doing stand up at night.
Yeah.
But I will come out there. I definitely will.
All right, Jimmy. Jimmy, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to have lunch.
All right, enjoy. I think I'm going to do the same thing. I ate some pretzels and a few treats this week, Matt. I was very bad. I ate treats. Thank you to Daniel Zellhuber and, of course, the great Tom Aspinall. Dude, is there anything better than him against that fucking Pavlovich? Those two fucking beasts.
Oh. You wouldn't want to see him versus Cyril Gahn?
Love to see him against Cyril Gahn, but I'm just saying, like, you know, for fan fiction, like just the magic fights that for some reason all seem to happen, I would love to see him against Sergey Pavlovich. But again, against Cyril Gahn, sure. But I prefer him against Sergey.
That's fan fiction. I like.
Yeah.
Sometimes I like science fiction.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the fun part about UFC is you make all these crazy matchups, and you know what? Most of them fucking happen.
Oh, you ignore my little thing. Jimmy, I was in rare form today. I wasn't the best interviewer today.
You were fine. You're always terrific.
Jimmy, I like when I ask things and you just gotta like.
I don't mind.
Why do you gotta give a double take? It makes me a little self-conscious.
I think you're misreading my double takes, to be very honest. They don't strike me as bad questions. You're just being conversational.
Oh, all right. In that case,
you're chatting. You're Matt Serra. They're happy to talk to you.
You know I could be a chatty Matty.
That's
Jimmy,
all right.
I have so much fun. What are you doing today? Are you fat?
Wednesday night, not tonight, but Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Every Wednesday in October, I will be doing my 1 hour in the Fat the Black Pussycat. And it's been great. I've worked on the whole hour. I feel really, really good. It's getting there. So I'd love you to come one time, Matt, when you're in the city.
You know what? I'm going to do my annual. I did it last year. I'm doing it again with my family. My Jedi Armando's this great guy. He gets me hooked up at the Javits Center for some Comic Con tickets.
Oh, nice.
So
when is that?
It's going to be in a couple weeks.
Good. Okay.
Next week it is. So I'll be in the city. I'll let you know.
Yeah, I'd love that.
So me and my family, Edwin, you know, my
sure.
My brother-in-law. So we had one extra ticket because my sister-in-law doesn't want to go, you know. So I'm like, all right, who would really appreciate or like this type of thing? Because it's not
right.
Perfect.
Sure.
So no, Jimmy, I'm not going to ask you. Don't get your hopes up. I don't want you to get your hopes up.
No.
I'm sorry if I did get your hopes up. But no, I didn't think. Jimmy, I know you don't like that. So listen. So I go, who would be? I go, I know who. So at the Academy, Sarah BJJ, I go to my good buddy, young champion, amateur champion, Marcus. And Marcus loves anime and loves all that shit.
Yeah.
So I bring him into the lounge. Like, he looks like he's getting into the principal's office. I go, Marcus, I got to talk to you. I go, you're fighting that Sunday. He's fighting that Sunday in Long Island. He's defending his belt. I go, is your weight good? This and that. I go, you know, I gave him that long story short. I go, we're going to Comic-Con. I have an extra ticket. He goes, now, Jimmy, it looked like you ever tell a kid they're going to Disneyland?
Yes, only when they're not.
Why do I do it to myself? I set myself up. Listen, I should say it like this. It looked like a kid that's still you're telling me he's going to listen. It looked like it. So he got so happy. You got to ruin my story.
No, it's nice. You bringing this young fighter. It's awesome.
So he's going with the family. Me, my wife, my kids, Edwin, and Marcus are going to attack.
Okay.
We're going to attend the Comic-Con. And oh boy, last year, a Star Wars Snuggie.
Oh, you
Let's
bought
end
one.
Let's end it. Jimmy, what a good time.
Would you recommend that I roll with Edwin when he's in the city?
Dude, yes. Edwin, Edwin is he's probably like 300 pounds now. So I'm gonna show you ways to try to slink to his back.
Yeah, you know, big guys, it's hard to I'm not strong enough to really to roll them over when they're on top.
This dude, you're gonna have ways where you're slinking to their back, you're wrapping around their neck.
Yeah.
I'm gonna work. I can't wait to work with you, Jimmy. Keep working with Mike.
I love Mike. Mike is, and he has me rolling with this blue belt, this kid Martin, who's really, really good, and he moves very, very fast. So I like that I have to kind of keep up with him and follow him when he's rolling and try to get positions on somebody who's very, very fast.
Hey man, I'm just so happy that you're on the mats and you're on your jiu-jitsu journey.
Yeah.
Jimmy, I will talk to you in a couple of days. Listen to me. I almost can't wait. Sweet Daddy. You're not Sweet Daddy, by the way.
Oh, you saw my name?
I just saw your name. You're throwing me off with that. Jimmy, I miss you so much already.
Me too, buddy.
I can't wait. I will FaceTime you tomorrow.
All right, I'll see you Wednesday. Bye, guys.
Bye, buddy.